Hello, everybody. Welcome to iExamB. This is Amrita, and in this video today we are going to discuss certain questions relating to SEBI's question paper, memory-based question paper. Before I start with my discussion, I would like to wish you all a very happy and prosperous Diwali. This is the Diwali week. I know आप लोगों का पढ़ाई का मन नहीं होगा, but ये कुछ शॉर्ट वीडियोस हैं जो आप देख सकते हैं जिससे आपकी पढ़ाई भी साथ साथ चलती रहेगी एंड यू कैन एंजॉय दिवाली एट द सेम टाइम. दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव कम अप विद continuation of series of previous year question papers of SEBI examination. Before I start with our discussion, first I would like to tell you that for staying updated with such kind of videos on various content related as well as strategy related to for various legal exams and also for other government exam preparation, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Press the bell icon. You can write to us at hello@iexamb.com. You can also feel free to call on this number and visit our website www.iexamb.com for more updates. We have started this series and we have completed previous year questions discussions from SEBI memory based paper for phase 1 as well as phase 2. This paper is also available on our website in our course, and here I am discussing every subject questions that were asked in phase 1 as well as phase 2. We have completed for company law, securities law, constitutional law, and today I am going to take up contract law previous year questions. Starting with the first question from phase 1, which section covers contingent contracts as per the Indian Contract Act? Now directly they have picked up a section based question. Contingent contracts is of course a very important topic and you should know everything in and out about this topic. 42, 40, 37, 31, 39, and the answer is D, that is 31. Direct section based question, knowledge based question. 31 defines contingent contracts and also discusses it. What is a contingent contract? ये भी थोड़ा सा short में देख लेते हैं. It is a contract to do or not to do something if some event collateral to such contract does or does not happen. It is dependent upon certain contingency. Second question, which of the following is not true about contingent contracts? मैं आपको हर वीडियो में ये स्पेसिफाई करके बताती हूँ कि जब भी ऐसे कोई क्वेश्चंस आते हैं नॉट ट्रू, जहाँ पे नॉट होता है वो स्किप कर देते हैं हम लोग, उससे पूरा क्वेश्चन का मीनिंग चेंज हो जाता है और हमारा आंसर भी रॉन्ग हो जाता है. तो आप जब भी क्वेश्चंस पढ़ते हैं फोकस से पढ़िए, एक एक वर्ड को अच्छे से पढ़िए. डोंट बी इन अ हरी. Which of the following is not true about contingent contracts? ये भी question contingent contract से ही है. Contracting parties have interest in the subject matter in a contingent contract. The uncertain event should be collateral. It is contract to do or not to do something with reference to a collateral event that is happening or not happening. Contingent contract is always wagering in nature. B as well as D. That is the uncertain event shall be collateral and contingent contract is always wagering in nature. तो हमें यहाँ पे ये देखना है कि इसमें से कौन सा स्टेटमेंट नॉट ट्रू है. दैट मीन्स द स्टेटमेंट विच इज false about contingent contracts out of all these statements and combination. The answer is D, that contingent contract is always wagering in nature. ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है. Contingent contracts have all the above mentioned features as we have seen except one, that they are always wagering in nature. Contingent contract may be wagering in nature or it may be not. Wagering is just a class of contingent contract. It is a type of contingent contract, but सारे contingent contracts wagering in nature नहीं होते हैं. Next question. A agrees to pay B rupees 1000 if B will marry A's daughter C. C was dead at the time of the agreement. Then which type of an agreement is it? You can see ये क्वेश्चन ऐसा क्वेश्चन है, सिचुएशन बेस्ड भी कह सकते हैं इसे, एंड ऑल्सो वी कैन सी दैट इट इज एक्चुअली चेकिंग योर कंसेप्ट्स मोर ओवर. वेजरिंग अग्रीमेंट है, वेजरिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, वॉइडेबल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, कंटिजेंट अग्रीमेंट है, या बोथ C and D, that is voidable contract as well as a contingent agreement. What it is? The answer is D, दैट इज इट इज एन कंटिंजेंट अग्रीमेंट. अब यहाँ पे अग्रीमेंट पूछा है तो डायरेक्टली अग्रीमेंट ही होगा, नोट ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होगा. बट किस तरीके का अग्रीमेंट होगा? कंटिंजेंट अग्रीमेंट होगा. कंटिंजेंट agreements to do or not to do anything, they are contingent agreements, and if an impossible event happens, then they become void whether the impossibility of the event is known or not to the parties to agreement at the time when it is made. And section 36 of the Indian Contract Act deals with contingent agreements. Important portion hai ye Contract Act ka. Next question, which of the following is the mode for revocation of a proposal? Revocation of a proposal has various modes. So which of the following is a mode of it? Communication of notice of revocation by the proposer to the other party, by the lapse of the time prescribed in such proposal for its acceptance, or if no time is so prescribed, by the lapse of a reasonable time without communication of the acceptance, by the failure of the acceptor to fulfill a condition that is precedent to acceptance, or by the death or insanity of the proposer, if the fact of his death or insanity comes to the knowledge of the acceptor before acceptance, all of the above. Are all of the above modes for revocation of proposal? The answer is yes. All of the above mentioned options are actually modes of revocation of a proposal, as mentioned under section 6 of the Indian Contract Act. Very easy question this was actually. An agreement enforceable by law is a contract is discussed under which section of the Indian Contract Act? Very primary, basic, preliminary question, I would say. Agreement enforceable by law is a contract. The definition of contract itself is provided under which section of Indian Contract Act? We should always know all these definitions are from which section, and the answer is D, that is section 2 clause H defines a contract, that is an agreement enforceable by law. Which of the following statements about acceptance is false? Mere silence can never amount to acceptance of an offer. Proposal must be accepted within the time limit that is given by the offerer. The proposal must be accepted within a reasonable time. Implied acceptance is not considered as a valid acceptance. None of the above. So which of the following statements about acceptance is false? Again, focus that they have asked which is false. Either of them or none of the above. And the answer is implied acceptance is not considered as a valid acceptance. This statement is false because implied acceptance is duly considered as a valid acceptance of an offer. Section 8 of the Indian Contract Act provides that acceptance by conduct or actions of the promisee is acceptable. So it is amounting to implied acceptance. फेज 2 के क्वेश्चंस पे आते हैं. फेज 1 में से 6 क्वेश्चंस थे. फेज 2 में से कंपैरेटिवली कम थे क्वेश्चंस. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इट्स द ड्यूटी ऑफ द बेली टू रिटर्न और डिलीवर द गुड्स दैट आर bailed. This is relating to bailment. Duty of the bailee is to return, deliver the goods bailed according to the bailor's directions. Now this is half statement that has been given and half is provided in the options. According to the bailor's directions on demand, as soon as the time for which they were bailed has expired or the purpose for which they were bailed has been accomplished, then the duty of bailee to return goods arises. Or it is on his own on demand as soon as the time for which they were bailed has expired or the purpose for which they were bailed has been accomplished. According to the bailor's directions, without demand, as soon as the time for which they were bailed has expired, on the purpose for which they were bailed has been accomplished. On his own, without demand, as soon as the time for which they were bailed has expired, or the purpose for which they were bailed has been accomplished, and none of the above. All these options are having slight change. Basic is same only. As it is, the statement has been picked, and the answer is C. According to the bailor's directions, without demand, there is no need to demand the goods again. As soon as the time for which they were bailed has expired or the purpose for which they were bailed has been accomplished, then the duty of the bailee arises to return the goods to the bailor. He does not need to demand it again. Okay. So these basic things remain same. There are certain changes in the options and it is very easy question. If you all want, you can later find the attached in the PPT attached in the description and go on with the question. And also you can stop the video anytime and look after it. Section 160 covers this aspect. 160 of Indian Contract Act, it is the duty of the bailee to return or deliver goods according to the bailor's directions. Goods bailed without demand as soon as the time for which they have been bailed has expired, or it has the purpose for which they have been bailed has been accomplished. Directly it has been picked from this section. Next question. When an agreement is discovered to be void or when a contract becomes void, any person who has received any advantage under such an agreement or contract is bound to restore it or to make compensation for it to the person from whom he has received it. He is bound not to restore it but to make compensation for it to the person from whom he has received it. To restore it but not to make compensation for it to the person from whom he received it, neither to restore it nor to make compensation to the person from whom he received it, none of the above. Again, this is a similar type of question only. When an agreement is discovered to be void or when a contract becomes void, any person who has received any advantage under such an agreement or contract, then he is bound to do what? The answer is A. He is bound to restore it or also make compensation for it to the person from whom he has received it. Section 65 of Indian Contract Act covers this aspect. Obligation of a person who has received an advantage under a void agreement or contract that becomes void. When an agreement is discovered to be void or when a contract becomes void, any person who has received any advantage under such an agreement or contract is bound to restore it or to make compensation for it to the person from whom he received it. So this is also important section relating to contracts which become void or agreement which is void. What will be the consequences? Third question, a singer contracts with B. A singer contracts with B, the manager of a theatre, to sing at his theatre for 2 nights in every week during the next 2 months, and B engages to pay her 100 rupees for each night's performance. On the 6th night, A willfully absents herself from the theatre and B in consequence rescinds the contract. Now this is relating to rescission of contract. Rescission of contract is also another important topic from Contract Act, and this is a situation based question. The answer will be options are B must not pay anything to A, B must pay A for 5 nights for which she has sung, B must pay A for all the nights under the contract, that is all the 6 nights, B must pay for 6 nights, none of the above. And the answer will be B. B must pay A for 5 nights for which she has sung. Rescission of contract does not mean that all the work that she has done, she will not be paid for that. That is not the meaning for that. Okay, she will be paid for the 5 nights for which she has done the work. Section 65 again of Contract Act provides that obligation of a person who has received an advantage under a void agreement or contract that later becomes void. This we have already discussed in the previous question also. Situation based question on that aspect. When an agreement is discovered to be void or when a contract becomes void, any person who has received any advantage under such an agreement or contract is bound to restore it or to make compensation for it to the person from whom he received it. The person has already received 5 nights singing as an advantage from that singer, so he has to compensate her for that. This is actually picked from an illustration of this section itself, that is illustration C of section 65 of Contract Act. Next question, an acceptance may be revoked at any time before the communication of dash. Acceptance is complete as against the acceptor. Acceptance is complete as against the proposer but not afterwards. Acceptance is complete as against the acceptor but not afterwards. Proposal is complete as against the acceptor but not afterwards. Proposal is complete as against the proposer. So when an acceptance may be revoked, it can be done at any time before the communication of, answer is C, before the communication of acceptance is complete as against the acceptor but not later than that. This is the condition. Be clear with all these conditions or relating to acceptance, offer, when it can be revoked, when it is a valid acceptance, valid offer, invitation to an offer, very basics of Contract Act. Section 5 of Indian Contract Act deals with the revocation of proposals and acceptances. From this question has been directly picked. Next question, if the pawner makes default in payment of the debt or performance at the stipulated time of the promise in respect of which the goods were pledged, the pawnee may do what? Bring a suit against the pawner upon the debt or promise, may retain the goods that are pledged as a collateral security, may sell the thing that is pledged on giving the pawner a reasonable notice of the sale, may bring a suit against the pawner upon the debt or promise and retain the goods that are pledged as a collateral security, may bring a suit against the pawner upon the debt or promise and retain the goods that are pledged as a collateral security, or he may sell the things that are pledged on giving the pawner a reasonable notice of the sale. Answer is E, that is the last condition. He may bring a suit against the pawner upon the debt or promise and also retain the goods as a collateral security, or he may sell the things that are pledged on giving the pawner a reasonable notice of the sale. All these three options are available. These are actually pawnee's rights that are picked from section 176 of Indian Contract Act 1872. You can find all of these mentioned here, and all of these options are available with the pawnee. These are actually in the form of pawnee's rights. You can go through this section. That's all from contract law from previous year questions, phase 1 as well as phase 2. These are picked from the memory based paper that we have prepared here at iExamB, and you can find this paper at our course also. You can reach to us. This is the expert faculty for legal at iExamB. You can reach us anytime. And also all ExamB mock tests are free at www.iexamb.com. आप कभी भी जाके ये mock tests को attempt भी कर सकते हैं. And अगर आपको कोई भी government exam preparation, SEBI and also such other examinations, not only for legal but for other government exams, you can reach us at iExamB. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also you can reach to us by these mentioned ways, as we make government exam preparation easy over here at iExamB. Thank you everybody, and once again wish you all a very happy Diwali.